Yeah,
know.
you mentioned Luca's challenges, which we thought could be interesting for people to share. And not so many people we see who unschool their kids have teenagers who are unschooled. Many of them do that until children are of a certain school age, and then they go, gotta put our kids in school. But Luca's really living through it.
Yeah,
That was shared already, but he's got a lot of interesting.
maybe he would even be. We tried to bribe him to be on stage and talk a little bit about his experience. I don't know if he will do it or not, but I think it would be so valuable to have somebody there experiencing. Yeah, I mean, if you're in like a group of unschoolers, it's one thing. If you make it past the unschooling years and then you stand in your power and you connect with all the people that then are all out of the school system. But he experiences also the pain of being unschooled and living in a faraway country. Very interesting. Both of us, we talk to him a lot, so we can share where he's at. But I would think it would be so awesome to get him on that talk too and share a little bit about his experience. We'll see. So the difficulties of being unschooled and world schooled at the same time.
Challenges for parents and children. One difficulty is space.
Relationship. That was, I think, my relationship
As
as
unschoolers.
unschooling, because you have so much on time with each other, and it has to be. You don't just walk to, especially when the parents are also unschooling, because otherwise you would go to work and they whatever they do, you know. But they're like, we have a situation here where we don't go to like a conventional a rigid work schedule. The kids don't go anywhere, and we're together
all day long, all of us.
And that can be too much. That is actually a challenge, and I don't know if other people experience it, but I feel like those three things, to bring those up, it shows a little different. Yeah, everyone can talk about how nice it is to unschool and how important and how necessary it is.
The importance of creating time and space for the parents for sure, and probably for the kids too. I mean, everybody needs a little space.
Right. Although they might not say it, but I think you're right. You know,
it's important.
It's better for them. They work. We all work better if we make some space. But it has to be actively created, huh?
And embraced, really used. I mean, it doesn't mean you have to be active in that time, but like realize, oh, this is my quiet time. This is my alone downtime, and then really allow it to be accessible, I think.
Yeah,
instead of dwindling that time away till it's gone.
To remember it too.
To remember it. I'm not so good at that.
Especially when you're so creative, like we are so connected, so tapped in with the flow. You just flow the whole time. That's what I do anyways. Most of us do that. We just flow with whatever happens. And when you do that, you forget about, it's difficult or challenging to put in the structure of like, there's me time now, or there's this time, you know, like for her time, to actually show up for my alone time, because also it's kind of nice to be together a lot, but there is also too much, and I can feel it. I get all tense, and I start losing my patience, and I get loud with everyone, really, and with myself, and then my head goes like this. And then, it takes us a while before we notice, this is not because we hate each other as a family, but because we love each other, but we need some space right now. And to go and take it then, and to claim it. And that's where conscious communication comes in. And that's one major great tool to use.
Oh, one of the best. If you can find your way to it and learn what it is that you need and learn how to speak about it, and also not only allow the space for the other people to find that, but maybe even be able to remind people this is what we're aiming for. Like, be able to find what it is that you need and how to be clear about it. It's a great thing to be at least modeling for kids too. You can't, I guess, as we know, you don't really teach kids, but you can model things and they might pick up on it and one day say, oh, this is how my parents communicated. I want to try that, or I'm doing it naturally, whatever it is. Setting good examples. I think this is kind of part of making time for ourselves, is partly how our kids are learning. You know, we don't want them to learn that we are just at everybody's mercy all the time, and all kinds of things with that.
And again, for me, and I think for you too, I'm not doing it to model. I don't want to hide anything from the kids, and I don't want to do something just so like be nice to that old lady. Although I want to kick her because the kids should learn, like no, I want to do that out of myself, and then it's beautiful to see that is setting a role model also. But my intention, I will always want that to be like authentic and coming straight from the heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that you feel the same. I just wanted to make sure that people understand.
It's authentic heart space living. I mean, this is it. Like always coming back to the heart. What does the heart say? What is it to be in a love relationship that can be with anybody like just that the people we connect with, we can always connect with our hearts. The head has less and less to do with it if we come more and more into who we really are. The head probably has its place, but it has a lot of chatter too, so always coming back to the heart, and how do we live it and model it and really embrace all the parts of it too, because it isn't always really beautiful.
And I think that's also where we touch the life without instructions again, because the heart is not instructing anything. The heart just is, and it is love, and one just wants to be expressed in whatever beautiful and creative way you can. There's no instruction in that, and if you let go of the controlling everything with your brain, so there's instruction from the outside, but there's also the instruction within ourselves. So when you're talking about unschooling, there's also unschooling going on within ourselves, and I think this is the unschooling and unstructuring and not being instructed process, is to let go of the power of our brains and like the monopoly that they have in our lives, and let go a lot of that and go back into the heart space where there is no instruction.
It's really leaving the space of where it's not just our minds, but the boxes, the systems themselves are there to control us, really to shape us into certain kinds of model citizens. And it's so many levels of letting go of expectation and expectation.
Yeah, and beliefs that this,
and beliefs that they're good or important.
And judgment at the same time,
that they'll
too,
get us somewhere.
Because most people are afraid to leave the system because they find some feeling of safety in the system. But when I look at it, there's not really safety there. It's just the system there is sort of set up for failure. The system sets us up to not really be fully alive. Well, I mean, if that's safety to not be fully alive, then you win. But I feel like I want to be fully alive, and within a system of tight instruction, I cannot feel myself all the way, and then I cannot be stepping into my full potential. So life without instruction totally works for me, and that's another topic that we could talk about. Is like life without instruction on the outside, but also on the inside. Mm-hmm. Take that on the inside. So four things we can talk about actually, and a bunch more, of course.